r/AskMen. Mailer_minimum says. What annoys serious gym goers about randoms at the gym? Cosmic Soap says. Not re-racking properly. 35s are not 45s are not 25s. Pansexual Pastaput says. Or just not re-racking at all. I hate that. Local Eb1 says. There's a guy in my gym who always puts like 6 plates of 25 kilograms on the leg press on each side and never racks them back, and of course he stays on the press for like 20 minutes. I swear it takes at least 3 minutes to rack everything, it's so annoying. Rorkham says. People who just stand there and don't realize they're blocking a walkway or equipment. Alan_Edgar_Poe says. Just last night at the gym I frequent, some lady in her tight and bright Lulus literally pulled up a bench to one of the assisted bench press machines. Then sat on the bench hunched over her phone for a good little while. That's kind of annoying. Breakermark78 says. For combat sports the main complaint is newcomers who train too hard. We are learning how to fight, sure, but it's not always 100% power, and definitely not when you have 10% technique. You're a danger to your training partners when you don't have the knowledge. Cletus_Van Dam says. I hated this behavior so much when I was sparring newer guys in boxing. Most guys would wise up after you send it back to them with equal force, or by just simply telling them that sparring isn't meant to be a full-on fight. Just focus on technique. Only thing worse than new guys doing this and not knowing better is experienced guys that do this to the new guys and do no better. My first year boxing was brutal because I always got paired up with this guy who believed himself to be the best fighter in the gym, and he would wreck my shit without hesitation every time. This dude would simply use the excuse that he was so powerful that his 40% strikes were still a force to be reckoned with. He wouldn't do this to other guys on his level, just the guys he knew he could get away with because they didn't know any better. I never said anything to management because I was too prideful to admit that all those strikes were I'm up my body, and to be a fighter it's expected that you can take the pain and carry on to the next round. But seeing that guy get away with knocking out every new white kid that walked into the gym really turned me off of the sport and made it less fun. Adam_Sackless says. There are people who train a combat sport because they enjoy the sport, then there are those that train because they enjoy hurting people. This guy is the latter, and you can't tell who is which until you see how they treat sparring partners. Asoyahut says. 1. Don't be noisy. 2. Don't get in other people's way. 3. Clean up after yourself. Follow these rules and no one will care what you're doing. r/AskMen. Obdurata Contrarian says. How do you balance independence and interdependence in a relationship? Hi gentlemen. A key to a healthy relationship is balancing your me time with the we time. We all need our space, but it's also important to be there for your partner. Let's talk about the highs and lows of navigating independence and interdependence in our relationships. How do you strike the right balance? Share your experiences and insights, and let's help each other out. Correct Sapling says. Gut feeling, communication and actively asking. For myself, I have the gut feeling. I know myself now quite well and can see when I'm getting a bit much of people in general, including partners/potential partners. Then I'll communicate that, saying hey, I need a day for myself. We can do something on Sunday though is better than just disappearing or saying the bare minimum. And lastly, I ask my partner in general. Hey, wanna do something coming Sunday? Or do you have something planned there already? Intentionally giving them an out for the cases where they are a bit selfless. In general, my me time is highly important and should be respected. One can ask, but never demand. And yes, that counts for living together too. Though, if there is a high increase of that time in either partner, there should be at least some talks going on to the why. Not all of those increases are work/stress/etc related. Even while living together, I think I've mostly had one day where I just wanted to be by myself. Meaning, different rooms, sure, talking, eating together, and checking up is completely fine and even wanted. But that's it, please. The rest of the day I wanna be by myself. And just doing my stuff. Or going out with guy friends, taking a walk alone. So far. Except one person, no one complained, of course. No rigid rules there. Everything and everyone can be bent. Lana Ligamkin says, I think it's being able to still have friendships and alone time, but also spending some time with them. Whether it's a date or just being at home. Nathaniel66 says, full independence, we can go out with friends for the whole night. Sometimes we go with friends, without wife me, with friends for the weekend. The rule is just to give some time earlier. I'm planning weekend with friends in 1 month. If there's anything you want me to do before, let me know. r/AskMen. HealthyAd8481 says, have you ever dated someone who made you to jump through hoops? What was the result? Rick Cassidy says, I used to rules that all favored her. I was young once. Then I grew up. Oddrip4204 says, I used to jump through the hoops, but now I see the hoop and just laugh, haha, no thanks. I don't do circus tricks anymore. Mr. Elon Poster says, yeah. I was 15, I think. My dad told me move on. Hey, it's Zeus24 says, she tried, I walked away. Acid_bear_boy says, I'm not that desperate. Apeliad says, no. I'm not a frick, I'm show dog. Filipino_Canadian says, big hoops. I mean, some people saw it as jumping through hoops, I saw it as courting her and earning her time. Obvi, it's different for everyone. Ava Beanbag says, they wound up single. No Strawberry 5541 says, did it. Realized I was being manipulated after a month and dumped her ass. I did it publicly in her favorite restaurant and laid into her for the shit she put me through. An example being almost destroying a friendship I had with a guy since we were 8 and completely embarrassed her. Frick you, Sarah. Low_car7230 says, yes, I have, and they ended up disappointed when I stopped and moved on. They thought I wasn't putting in any effort. Still Kunchut says, I did in my early 20s, she was in her 40s and gorgeous. She constantly wanted validation and kinda used me to show off to her friends that she still had it. I rolled out after a few months, and she kept hitting me up randomly for a couple years after that. OK_noise7655 says, I'm not sure where exactly jumping through hoops start. Well, she did, and does want me to do stuff. Sometimes I do, sometimes don't, or try but fail. Unhappy_meaning 607 says, it's never worth it in the end. r/AskMen. Nofen31 says, did you ever think you were a magnet for crazy partners? What did you do to change that? Friendly Octopus says, don't be overly available for people and don't overextend yourself in early stages. Makes you an easy target for narcissistic abuse. Set boundaries and stick to them. Huang says, you remember that it takes two to tango. You didn't just attract them. You had to be attracted to them. Why? Why are you attracted to crazy? Gorgeous Metal says, stop dating girls from insane asylums in Connecticut. Hujazo says, married one. Deadlift Bruce F says, not having strong boundaries and self-respect will do that to you. Minderbinder44 says, if they are crazy enough to drive people away, they'll spend more time single. The chances are therefore higher that you'll end up on a date with one. I wouldn't take it personally, it seems like simple probability at work here. Darth1 Football says, yes, and I married the hottest and least crazy one. The thing is, you don't usually see the crazy for a while. After they get comfortable is when the demons rise. Cool Leather Suits says, I was always slightly reckless and attracted girls with a similar predilection. I don't have mental health problems, though. I made a conscious decision to look for someone who wasn't my type. A sensible girl. And she's wonderful. You play a part. Who you end up with isn't an accident. Broad Sharp says, boundaries that don't waver. Self-respect. Dull_investigator 358 says, outcraze them. No importance 8904 says, yes. Realized I was too submissive and breedable. Also, if they have blue hair, there is a the 9th of September 10. Changed she/it is mentally ill. That's all for this video. Was it good? I know not, for I'm a robot. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe. This video is the product of an automated process.